Today I'm going to share some of my favorite garden plants, and I hope that they'll become your favorites too. Now, one that I just absolutely have to have every year is Magilla Perilla. And Magilla Perilla looks a lot like Coleus, but it's a lot better than Coleus. It doesn't tend to have the bug problems, and you don't have to cut the blooms off all the time like you do with Coleus plants. It gets to be a very large plant. One of these plants can easily be 3 feet tall by 3 feet wide. So when you use it in a pot, just put one. I do like to underplant it with sweet potato vines, with petunias. Especially love the chartreuse sweet potato and this new copper tone sweet potato vine underneath it. And it appreciates afternoon shade. So whether it's in the ground or in a pot, if you have it someplace where it's in afternoon shade, it'll do beautifully. It also can be used as an interior plant in your home. Now there's also a Magilla Perilla vanilla plant. It's a little bit lighter in color and does appreciate afternoon shade. And both these perillas will grow easily from cuttings. So if you want to take some cuttings in the fall and overwinter those in the house, you can do that, or just take your perilla containers inside the greenhouse and they should survive through the winter and then give you another year of service in the garden. Now, another great plant is the Philippine violet. If you've got a lot of shade in your garden like I do, you love some tall blooming plants, and this one is a showstopper when it's blooming. This last winter mine didn't die back, so it's really large still and is already blooming. I thought they just bloomed in the fall, but this one's got lots and lots of blooms. It does come in a white form that I have not found to be quite as freeze hardy, and it comes in a violet and white variegated form as well. And I love the deep blue-green foliage on this one. It really is a stunner in the backdrop of your garden. Another plant that's great for shady areas is Heucheras or coral bells, and it comes in a lot of different colors. Now the Palace Purple, I've had one of these for years. There's another new introduction here that is just a fabulous purple color, and it comes in many, many different foliage colors. The secret I found with it is morning sun, afternoon shade, and a fairly rich soil with mulch. Don't let it dry out too much between waterings. It does bloom. The blooms are really showy too, but the foliage alone is worth growing this plant for. And it will be eventually about 1 foot to 1.5 feet wide and about 8 to 10 inches tall. So not a huge plant in your garden, but definitely a nice filler. This is a new pineapple sage that has a chartreuse color, and it has the same wonderful pineapple scented foliage and the great reddish color flowers, but this chartreuse color is just a great pop in your garden. Now this one also, like the regular sweet pineapple sage, loves afternoon shade. But my favorite plants in the garden have to be these ornamental peppers. There's the black pearl, the calico, the jigsaw, the Peruvian purple, and all of them are just very dramatic. They have this deep purple foliage in this case, and little purple berries that are round in the black pearl, and then those berries turn red. This jigsaw has some variegation of white and pink in it too. They're great container plants. They'll take sun, full sun, really hot sun. They'll take some shade too. They're good in containers. And this plant I found last year, it's called Hot Fire. I had that over winter in my yard in a container, and it was not in the greenhouse, and it did beautifully. You can see that the seeds get kind of wrinkly and red. At that point, pull them off, plant them. They grow very easily from seed. So add some of these colorful peppers to your garden. You will be so impressed with them, and your friends will ask you about them all the time because they're just terrific.